The breaking news, too, last night was that the Attorney General of the United States, Attorney General Bill Barr, has announced that he has instructed his U.S. attorneys to begin a review of voting, and he called serious irregularities into those reviews. He wrote, "Now that the voting has concluded, it is imperative that the American people can trust that our elections were conducted in such a way that outcomes accurately reflect the will of the voters." So now you've got the Trump campaign, you've got the RNC, you have the president's legal team, you have states' attorney generals on the Republican side, and now you also have the U.S. Department of Justice and their U.S. attorneys looking at the irregularities and potential wrongdoing in both vote counting and tabulation.
What Bill Barr said is it's got to be serious, it's got to be credible, and it makes sense to empower the U.S. attorneys to look at these issues because, and you were the acting U.S. attorney for Atlanta, for the Northern District of Georgia, because you have the resources there on a local basis to engage it, to look at it, to determine if, in fact, there is a serious violation. That's what the key is.
The United States attorneys are basically federal district attorneys, analogous to a state district attorney that operate in a judicial district. In this case, the United States has, I think, 98 United States attorneys throughout the country, and they have the resources through the FBI, through other agencies of the federal government to do these investigations if they see claims of irregularity that, if true, as Jordan said, and he quoted the Attorney General correctly, if true, would clearly impact the outcome of election. Otherwise, defer it till after the election and the certification process is completed. So this, if it is outcome determinative, what Attorney General Barr says, and he's perfectly right in doing what he says.
He goes on to say, "Given that voting in our current elections is now concluded, I authorize you," that's the U.S. attorneys, "to pursue," and this is key, "substantial allegations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities prior to the certification of elections in your jurisdiction in certain cases, as I have already done in specific instances." Now, this is also important because it goes to kind of limits, so that it's not like these U.S. attorneys are doing this in all 50 states. He says this: "Such inquiries and reviews may be conducted if there are clear and apparently credible allegations of irregularities that, if true," this is key, "could potentially impact the outcome of a federal election in an individual state."
We have to remember that this race has not been certified. It's not been even to the point where all votes have been counted. We've got tens of thousands of votes in Nevada that still need to be counted. This race is not official. We need every legal vote counted, and that's what we're trying to do. And there's a whole bunch of discrepancies with these counting, with the counting of votes. Clearly, in Nevada, we have a problem with a machine that is counting votes and matching signatures. And the problem that we have is that the bureaucrats in Clark County lowered the factory settings on the machine for matches on signatures. And we've already seen some problems with those signatures. We are asking, and we've gone to court to say that the machine that's doing this artificial intelligence matching is not good enough because they lowered the factory settings, and all of these need to be done by a human being.
Moving forward, we need voter ID in every state. That this mail-in ballot, this attempt at mail-in balloting without really preparing for it, led to what I believe is just a massive amount of fraud, confusion. Even good faith poll workers, Rick, had no idea what to be doing with all these ballots. I mean, they were flooding in. This wasn't the norm. This wasn't how they were used to counting ballots. And so even states that had gone very electronic, then they've got all these mail-in ballots that came in. They were not prepared for it. The Postal Service wasn't prepared for it. And now we're starting to see the litigation that comes from it.